The biggest challenges I see facing sellers right now aren't dramatic, they're subtle. If you're thinking about selling your home in 2026, this is not about pointing fingers or calling out mistakes. Most sellers I talk to are doing their best. They just haven't adjusted their expectations to how this market actually behaves. Hey family, it's Monife, your Detroit neighborhood expert and storyteller. Today, I want to walk you through a few patterns I'm seeing and why they matter, and how sellers who approach things a little differently are getting better outcomes. One of the most common phrases I hear from sellers is, let's just put it out there and see what happens. And on the surface, that sounds reasonable. But here's the reality. In today's market, testing the market often leads to hesitation, not information. Buyers are watching closely in those first few weeks. They're comparing your home to other homes. They're noticing pricing, conditioning, and presentation. When a home is positioned without intention, buyers don't rush in. They wait, and waiting quietly erodes momentum. Sellers who come to market with a clear strategy tend to stay in control. Those who don't often end up reacting later. Another subtle issue I see is overpricing. Not dramatically, but just enough to slow things down. Sellers often think we can always come down later. But the problem is that buyers don't experience a price reduction as flexibility. They experience it as a signal. They start asking, why didn't it sell right away? What am I missing? Is there room to push a little harder? In Detroit, where buyers are very observant, early overpricing often costs more than it protects. The goal isn't to attract everyone, it's to attract the right buyer quickly and confidently. Another thing I see is sellers underestimate preparation. Detroit buyers expect character. They expect older homes. They expect history. What they don't want is uncertainty. I've seen beautiful homes lose momentum because sellers assumed buyers would see past certain issues. In reality, buyers are paying close attention to electrical systems, plumbing, roofs, basements, and foundations, and the heating and cooling. Cosmetic updates are nice, but mechanical confidence closes deals. Preparation isn't about making a home perfect. It's about making buyers feel safe saying yes. One of the biggest mindset shifts sellers need to make in 2026 is understanding buyer behavior. Less urgency does not mean less interest. Buyers today are more informed, more patient, and more willing to walk away if something doesn't feel right. This doesn't mean your home isn't desirable. It means that buyers are evaluating more carefully. Sellers who misread this often panic too late after momentum is already softened. Sellers who understand it stay calm, adjust early if needed, and protect their leverage. Another quiet mistake is relying too heavy on national real estate advice. Detroit is not a one-size-fits-all market. Pricing, preparation, and buyer expectations can vary significantly from one neighborhood to the next, from historic homes to post-war builds, renovated properties to well-maintained originals. What works in one city or even one part of Metro Detroit doesn't automatically work everywhere. Successful sellers in Detroit approach the market locally, not generically. The sellers who are having the smoothest experience right now tend to do a few things consistently. They price with intention, they prepare with honesty, and they listen to feedback early. Stay flexible without being reactive. They don't chase perfection, they focus on alignment. And alignment between price, condition, and expectations is what still drives strong outcomes in this market. Selling well isn't about guessing or reaching. It's about alignment, preparation, and intention. If this helped you think more clearly about selling in today's market, you're already ahead. Call or text me today and let's have a conversation about your 2026 plan. I am Monife with the MK Realty Group, and this is In Detroit with MK.